This is Ilya Shalev, and today we're going to have a big day. We're going to prepare a steak, a real filet mignon or tenderloin steak, and I hope you are hungry. There are going to be lots and lots of butter. I'm really sorry to shock you with that amount of butter, but there are two words I want to say about butter. First of all, in this particular recipe, we're going to use lots of butter as just a cooking agent, as a transmitter of the heat. Hence, we're not gonna use it for a consumption. It means that most of that butter will be just gone and not going into the plate of the customers. Here I have this big piece of meat, and I'm going to speak a little bit about the anatomy of that thing. There's actually two pieces attached to one is actually a tenderloin, and around there is a second, they call it false tenderloin, and usually we are not using it, but let's see what I'm talking about. First, just using my fingers, just like that, I take off the external part of all this fat and sinewy tissue, they say. I'm using a sharp knife to help me, and basically I separate. You see, that's going to be two different parts of meat, and as much as I can on this first motion, I just take with my hands, simply like that, and that bit I remove. So you see, what I have here is a fillet, and it's been the most tender part of the animal. So here I have this bit to be used for sauce, and I start right away. I cut that faked part of the fillet on the big cubes, and here I have a pan which is going into the extreme heat, and while it's getting hot, I'm preparing what French call mirepoix. Mirepoix is a roughly cut basic vegetables. Usually it's kind of root vegetables. I start using the bits of meat, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of butter right away, and all that goes in there. I add there a little bit of thyme, wonderful, oh my God. Now is the time when the caramelization of all the ingredients there wonderfully nice. Oh, look at that, look at that. So at this moment, I want to point out how nicely it's all colored, and all this color is basically a sugar caramel. I'm adding a little bit of red wine, a little bit of port, a little bit of Madeira, and some cognac. So here is the main ingredients of that dish. We have here still to remove certain things. This is the upper fascia, so for that I am turning it like this and the reason for that is that the grains of the mussels go a certain direction. So on the other side, we have lots of fat, which is actually good. I recommend to keep as much as you can. The bits which are falling by themselves, fine, we can remove them, but don't forget, the flavor comes from the fat also a lot. What is left is actually to portion it. For that, we're going to use a thread. So I take one per roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I take it like that. I take my sharp knife. I cut it like this. I take thread and I'm using my thumbs. I'm coming here and I am doing 1 twist, 2 twists, pulling, and because of I did 2 twists, it allows it to stay like unmoved, and then I finish it with the final twist, and here I cut it off and we go all the way. Here we're coming to an end, and what I do here, there is this little trick, we call it butterfly. So we take a little measurement as I imagine how big the portion will be, how tall, and then I cut it like this, not till the end, and there I have that to be put like that and to be formed like that. And here I secure it with the string a few more times. So what happened now is that I got a perfect idea of how many portions I have here, so we can start cutting them. I'm going to use maybe just a couple. The rest we will use for our next use. Meanwhile, I'm going to come back to the garnishes, and I have here some potatoes and some small onions. People usually do not really like to work with them because they think it's kind of difficult to peel, but I will show it's not really difficult. First of all, I have some water. For that I use this small pan, just a little bit of water to boil. Same for the potatoes. I have a little recipient with the water and I'm going to bring it to boil. I'm going to cut these potatoes in rough big chunks like that. Ooh. Yeah, if you don't like some bits, sometimes they might have a problem, but I do keep the skin intentionally because I do want to have an extra crisp at the very end. And here, water almost starting boiling. And I add all the potatoes in one go, just like that. I want to point your attention that I'm not cooking them there. I am not cooking them there at all. What I'm doing, I'm simply fixating the starch which is sitting inside of the potatoes, and I am leaving them just until the moment when the water starts boil, and as soon as it starts boil, they going out. Meanwhile, all this going, I'm starting to heat up the grill. I have this kind of grill which every household can have, and it's a very useful thing actually. If you cannot have a charcoal, this could really substantially be good for giving an extra flavor of the burn. So as soon as water comes back to boil, I put them out into the prepared ice bath, just like that. Here, what happened to them, they all still very firm, but the outer layer got softened. And there is a thin end and there is this hairy end. You push it with thumb and your this finger, you push it towards the hairy end, and it goes just like very easy. Not this one. No, it is. So just like that. Very easy. So you just press it, and there they go. I take a frying pan, and I put all the onions in here. I add a little bit of butter. I add salt. I add some sugar. And here I add a little bit of red wine, little bit of port wine, little bit of Madeira, and little bit of cognac. And I cover it up with additional water, and I'm going to cook them off on a high heat. Potatoes came to boil, and we're just taking them out. Here I have another pot, and I add there rather shocking amount of butter. Look how much. As soon as butter melted and start little foaming, I add potatoes. And now my aim is to create certain temperature over there where potatoes are actually keeping two ways of cooking. One is they still boiling, which means the temperature is not that hot, but another is that they start roasting because of the burning of the butter. So here we are back to the steaks, and it's a time to cook them. I have a normal frying pan, and I have this grill very hot, ready to go. So I do give a little flavor to the steaks, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of pepper. I'm not applying oil directly to the grill, I'm applying oil to the steaks actually. So I give them a little bit, and they go here. As soon as they touch, of course, there is a real high temperature, and it's make the grill. We're going to just make a mark. So I lift it and I turn it like that. I lift it, I turn my hand, and I put it back like that. Now I turn them another side. So basically I'm trying to grill them all around. Now we leave them to rest a little bit. I put a little bit of butter here, and by saying little bit, again, rather a lot. This butter is not going to be consumed. It's just playing a role of a helper. I add a little bit of wonderful thyme, and here, same like with the potatoes over there, I try to bring butter to a foam. Beautiful. And the more I do this, the more the color is deepening and becoming more and more beautiful. I feel it's enough, and what I'm pointing out, they are not cooked yet. And look how much butter is actually to be discarded. So we continue to work with the sauce. And we reduce it. So I'm kind of at the end. Potatoes look already nicely golden. Sauce is reduced very nicely. And what is left is just to taste it and see where are we. Very nice. Very nice. The onions are ready. And I do take potatoes out. Here we add just a little bit of butter to make the flavors round, and we switch off. These two guys goes into the oven, preheated 500 degrees. So we take them out. Yes, I touched them. I wanted to give you one valuable tip about doneness of the meat. How to know, how we chefs know whether the meat is ready or not. So if you take thumb and this pointing finger and you put them together and touch that part of your palm, so between those ones and here you feel, we call it a raw meat touch. This is absolutely raw meat. So if you put this finger here, you have a medium raw doneness. This finger gives you a medium, and that finger gives you well done. So this is a good guide and it's lots of fun. So here, always letting meat to rest a little bit. We cut the strings hot. This is very good. And now we're ready for presentation. I take a little bit of potatoes. Ooh. I pile them up here. Now I've got some onions to accompany them, just like that. Let's slice the steak and see how it looks inside. So this is medium. And we finish it with this wonderful sauce. Here we go. This is a filet mignon, grilled and roasted with buttery potatoes and small onions cooked in red wine. Please enjoy, bon appetit, and have a wonderful day.